So we have National Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany here. We're so excited to have you here. Congrats on being a new mom as well.
I only read it because they don't like to report.
Yes.
Katie will be on the campaign trail soon. So.
Yes, absolutely. So I just love to dive straight in here. So we saw the Democrats and Speaker Pelosi stress the impeachment was extremely urgent. But Pelosi won't push the articles to the Senate. Do you think this provides Americans more transparency into the legitimacy of the Democrats' intentions of the impeachment process, and how will this affect the election?
Yeah, I think it's very revelatory, the fact that Nancy Pelosi was so keen on impeaching, but then won't actually give the articles to the Senate. In fact, it was their own witness, the Democrats' own witness, who said, Noah Feldman, is the president even impeached if you don't give the articles to the Senate? And his answer was no. He didn't believe that would pass constitutional muster. So when your own witnesses that you put forward are calling you out, that should say something. And what it says is that these are shoddy articles of impeachment. They're baseless. Nancy Pelosi knows, should she give these to Mitch McConnell, the Senate will expose this impeachment for the fraud it always was and for the attempt to overturn the will of the American people and every voter in this room.
Absolutely. So another question. We know the liberal media is very critical of President Trump, especially with the recent airstrike that killed Iranian military commander Soleimani. Yet they never touched President Obama with his killing of Osama bin Laden. Do you think the media's attack on the president will have any weight on the upcoming election, or will the people reject their evident bias again like they did in 2016?
Yeah, I think the people will reject their bias. You certainly made an important contrast that in the wake of Osama bin Laden being killed, you never heard Nancy Pelosi talking about a war powers resolution. You never heard Democrats criticizing Republicans in that moment. Instead, we all came together under one flag as the American people and said it's a good thing that Osama bin Laden is no longer on this earth. And likewise, in the killing of Soleimani, one of the globe's worst terrorists, it should be a moment where everyone says, let's put America first. This is American strength. This is getting rid of a terrorist who killed many, many American troops, hundreds and thousands of innocent people across the globe. It's a good day for America, but the fact that Democrats can't be a part of that really signals their partisanship.
Absolutely, just very evident in their bias there. So President Trump's economic policies have had a tremendous impact all across the nation, but especially here in Ohio. So the CEO of Artex Oil, Jerry James, who is also a lifelong Ohioan, said this is the best economy he's seen in his life. With more and more industries coming into Ohio, the economy is doing better than ever. How much do you think the Ohio economy under President Trump will fuel the state going red in 2020?
I think it's a big deal. Look, President Trump made a promise to Ohio voters and said, I'll bring back jobs. I will raise your wages. And he's done that. 94,000 jobs created here in Ohio, 151,000 Ohioans lifted off food stamps, paychecks going up at the fastest pace in a decade, twice as fast for low and middle income Americans, the median household income at its highest point in history. And these are but a sliver of the statistics that show how good the economy is here in Ohio and across the nation. So President Trump had promises in 2016. Now he has deliverables, and I think that's very evident, and it will certainly put a tailwind behind Ohio going into the president's column.
Absolutely, and all the Ohioans that we talked to outside today, that was one of their main points that resonated so well with them, is that the economy is doing well under President Trump. Okay, another question. So the largest Democratic super PAC, Priorities USA, according to their battleground briefing that they put out a few months ago, does not even highlight Ohio as a phase 1 or even phase 2 battleground state, basically signaling they don't think they have a chance in Ohio. Could you give us some insight on what this means for 2020 and how the president has possibly already secured Ohio's 18 electoral votes?
Yeah, that is an important point, that I think Ohio is no longer a true swing state. I think it's a Trump state, but we're here because we don't take anything for granted. It's why even if we consider Ohio a Trump state or Florida a Trump state, we're still going to go and shore up our support in that state and make sure the good news of the Trump economy gets to all of these voters. It's very important to our calculus in 2020. We believe that Ohio will go red, and it's important to keep Ohio red, and Michigan, a neighboring state here. A lot of Michiganders in this room showing up to support the president. It's important to share the message, and this is a great place, being that we're so close to Michigan and we're here in Ohio as well.
Great, yeah, and I know everyone we talked to is glad you came, so good choice there. So last question here. Speaker Pelosi is trying to pass the War Powers resolution in the House, like we said before. What would it mean to Pelosi if she does get those votes?
I think it would, again, show just how partisan she is. I mean, you made the contrast a few questions ago about Osama bin Laden versus Soleimani. When Osama bin Laden was killed, and rightfully so, you saw Republicans rally around President Obama and rally around America as a nation and say, let's put politics aside, and even if we don't agree with President Obama, let's acknowledge this is a good thing for our country. You don't see that now. And this is really revealing the Democrats' motives, that they can't even condemn, or rather, condemn the actions of Iran and say that it's a good thing that a terrorist, Soleimani, is no longer here. What does it say about Democrats that leaders in Congress can't get around killing a terrorist? I mean, it's really quite remarkable, and they can't get around the fact that this president showed strength. When our embassy was under attack, President Trump fought back. Yet he de-escalated the tension, and we avoided, a conflict, but at the same time showed our strength. Why is that not something that Democrats can get around? It shows their partisanship, and the fact that Nancy Pelosi wants to now put war powers resolution forward just on the heels of impeachment. It just shows Democrats' priorities, and it's taking down this president at any cost and standing against his every move.
Totally agree. And not only does it show their priorities, but it keeps on showing how the president is America first, promises made, promises kept. You heard it right here. We thank you so much for being with us, Kayleigh. She is the National Press Secretary for President Donald Trump, and we're so excited to see him in just a few hours. Thank you so much.
Looking forward to it. Have a good rally.
Great. Thank you.